respect. So both teams certainly going to be brawling much more than they are going to be just trying to force out these lanes to just push. So it's going to be a fun game no matter what. I am personally hoping that LBZS takes this opening game here, Kips, because if they do, gives us the increased odds of more Dota, because I don't think there's a universe where they take the series 3-0. So at the very least, we want them to start off with a W.
I mean, maybe a meteor hits the Aster team house.
So Sephiroth is over there in China right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he's anywhere, he's probably in China. You know, the thing that I was thinking about with this matchup here is this Razor. Like, we've seen time and time again that Razor as a secondary core can be either a complete creep or he can absolutely dominate the game and actually be the main real deal here. And I wonder if Monet is going to be buying him an Aghanim Scepter this game just to make that power spike of the refresher BKB hit even harder, right? Like, actually, that's an option they have this game. Yeah, I just don't know if Monet is that guy.
I was about to say, having watched Monet as a carry for a long time, only when he has literally all the item slots filled. So it's like, fine, I'll buy someone an Ags. Okay, here you go, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just wanted to float it by you because you have been casting a lot more Div 1 China than I have recently.
For now, as they say.
For now.
So, pauses undone. Here we go. Good ward placed out by Detachment to recognize this rotation. They know what's coming. They will not allow themselves to get caught out here. They also, because of this long wrap, they've been able to find a ward middle that's not going to get scouted very easily. Unless we just have some god level reads coming out from Team Aster here. Oh, we actually do. Shout out to them. Never mind. I think I cast those curse now. That's my bad, Detachment. I'm sorry, bro.
Well, they still have one mid, right? Am I cursing that one too? Now, do they have sentries left? I don't think they have sense left. Okay, don't they do? They do. Boboka has one. Snap.
No way.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, they got a ward out, but not the sentry. All right. So one or the other. There we go. We finally have the game properly commencing. No, it's not. Pajazo, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's cool.
Respect from Salad towards Boboka. Like, these boss 4 players are both going to have a field day tossing and hooking each other's teammates around. XXS is going to be a little unhappy with this though, because Razor not the tankiest in the lane, and now he's going to have to wait for the extra region to get to him.
Yep.
Pretty low here to begin with.
Already ferrying in that self ASAP, and this is not a super comfortable lane to play into, so you do need to be careful. Because when you play with Bristleback Razor, yes, you do have the Link, and Bristleback not the fastest hero at this stage of the game, but you take a lot of damage from the cool sprays. Doesn't always make it worth it chasing the Bristleback down. But the regen is about to arrive. He survived the first wave, which is the most important part. If you can survive like the first couple waves here, I think you'll be more or less okay.
He will be, and for that reason as well, his Pudge is now pulling the wave. He already secured the first range group with that hook. And Detachment can do absolutely nothing about this pull. So that is EXP secured for both of the Dire heroes here. And yeah, to go a little bit further into that Bristle matchup, like, one of the things that Razor relies upon is outlast hitting people because he's taken all of their damage. But a Bristleback can always last hit with the Quill Spray still.
You never really run out of damage as Bristleback. At least not anymore. Those days are long gone where this hero would eventually start to feel a bit lackluster damage-wise. Very often he's the hardest hitting hero on the map, so looking forward to see if he can accomplish that in this game. Let's look over towards this mid lane where PP and Ori. This is one of these lanes. It's actually terrifying, right? Most mid lanes you don't actually care about because no one can kill each other. Here, you see exactly, he has to be. You can always die here. You have to sit so far back just to have a shot at this lane.
Yep. And it's going to remain that way. And as I say that, Detachment goes down. He has no defense mechanism.
He gets hooked, he dies. And that's just like the long and short of it.
Yeah. PP now. So whenever he is across the ramp, things are dicey. He needs to not have too many stacks on him when he is across the ramp. So this is actually very dangerous positioning for him here.
Yep.
Yep.
Ori will make him realize some of this danger, jump on him, but he does manage to TP out. He actually played like this, very funnily enough, earlier today when he was playing into Blessing. He was on the Queen of Pain and Blessing was on Zeus, and he killed him under very similar circumstances, forcing him over the ramp. And he tried to TP to safety, but he died anyway. And that could easily have led to the same result we saw earlier, where he's the one that gets completely overran, but Dazzle in the top lane is the one losing HP. Himself and Salad, who's gonna die first? It's gonna be this Dazzle. The Avalanche makes the kill happen, and Salad is still alive.
Yeah.
There's no acid spray, is not gonna connect onto him. It's already committed in the lane. This guy is so good at Tiny. Salad, what a player.
Absolutely insane. Like the last match when we checked his KDA and he was like, what, 2-0-11?
Yeah, at like 14 minutes or something. It was ridiculous.
What a guy. Yeah, got his tranks now. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, I mean, an Alp pick into an Enigma makes sense, right? Because you're going to get less last hits, but you're going to get more out of them. And you do have a lot of sustain versus the extra harass as well with that Dazzle by your side. It's just that, yeah, the Alk, especially when you don't take a point in the concoction, because they don't have a kill lane here, right? The lane is all the way pushed out all the time. The Dazzle doesn't have any stuns to follow up with. So that means that Monet is not taking points in the concoction. Also means that if they actually go on a Dazzle, Monet is not going to be defending him.
Yep. You're on your own, buddy. You have to deal with it yourself.
Yep.
One thing I know also has access to this level 2 acid spray does make life a little bit complicated for LG. You can't be cavalier with the positioning of his Eidolons lest they just die too quickly. But overall, he's just going to have a pretty decent time here. And because they don't have this concoction, you can see what they're doing. They're reading that they can give more opportunity for LG to collect solo experience. Salad's going to spend some time pulling, getting these stacks going, making sure that deeper in the game, when it is time for this Bristleback to get involved, they have the stacks available mid lane. They thought Ori was diving, so they were prepared with the TP just in case, but this pressure that PP is experiencing right now might be at top of the net worth chart with CS, or the CS chart rather, but never going to be comfortable at all into this lane, especially as more and more levels come in for the bat.
This is high tension. It doesn't really matter how much ahead PP gets in his lane. He can die every single time, and that TP threat, like Ori knows it's down now. He's going to be looking for another kill as soon as the next Firefly comes in. Yep. Very close to 6 now as well. Darkness falls. Ballad comes to check the runes.
Oh, the flame breaking out to the high ground. Ori actually might just kill him. Heads up. PP's dead. Yeah, PP's dead. Who needs level 6? Who needs Lasso? You just need the right click damage. That was way too many napalm stacks, and PP gets hard punished in this mid lane for going too far forward.
He did his balancing act really well, but we just witnessed him falling off the tightrope. It was going to happen at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's Necro versus Bat. Nobody's going to blame you for this.
The only thing that sucks is that because he dies so soon, they don't at least force out maybe a rotation from Boboka, looking for like a hook play off the back of the lasso, which would give a bit more time to Kagome to try and muscle out this Razor. Getting this heads up solo kill does also mean that you get to go back to base, replenish your resources, and come back before either Necro's back or anybody else has taken out the farm middle. This is super, super good for their game. Even though it was inevitable, it always just feels so sad for the team that loses their mid-hero when they die 1v1.
Yep, for sure. And, well, at least you're a Necro. You get to jungle. So PP is not going to be completely devastated just yet. But these illusions from Boboka are already scouting for him. Because they have seen Salad on mid. They know that this Tiny is now going to be scraping together a bit of a living whenever this Necrophos dips out. And Necrophos should be dipping out more and more often. Because that was not even a lasso use. Like,
yeah.
He's still under just as much threat as he was before.
Or he can just fully monopolize this lane, get closer to those boots of travel. And the thing is, the side lanes are not going terribly either for the team. They're winning all of them. They have the bulk of the farm, so there's no need for him to even move off this lane. It's like, well, who needs my help? Everyone's like, nah, I'm good, dog. You do you. Get your items. Like, okay, cool. I'll just keep farming, I guess.
Ideal position for a Bat Rider. Like, he normally needs a little bit much of a build-up. This is why I don't like offlane Bat Rider anymore, because you really want those BOTs before you go into a Blink Dagger. And usually you go BOTs, BKB Blink. That's a lot of build-up for an offlaner, but for a mid laner, completely acceptable.
We're going to see, though, on the side of Team Aster, them trying to make a move towards bottom. They want to use this lasso somewhere. Kagome seems like quite a fine target, but Boca will scout him out. Needs a clean angle, though, for the hook. But he's low on mana on the bristleback. Oh, no. There's the hook. Here's Ori. There should be the kill. XXX even activate Eye of the Storm very preemptively, but they just make sure they clean up the kill. Salad a little bit too late with the rotation. Not going to be back in time. And that's just Ori being like, well, I can just walk to your lane, kill your safe lane, I'll come back middle. And because you're playing Necrophos, not like some Death Prophet, some Leshrac or whatever, you're not actually going to do anything to the tower. So it feels like I literally lost nothing except for a solitary wave off of making that move.
Which is completely fine. And yeah, normally the Necrophos' way of taking your mid tower is by slow chipping, because he pushes the wave more than you and you need to regen more than him, so you go away and take runes and stuff like that, and he just stays. But yeah, this Necro has to, as long as you're off the map, this Necro can't even come up the other ramp. Yeah. He doesn't know what's up there. It's been thoroughly dewarded. PP cannot show one whisker of his beard, and now? Or he might just catch sight of him. Oh, gets a courier.
Oh.
No.
Okay, needed the third hit, didn't get it. Does kill Kagoma's courier. Oh, it will die for this though. They even black hole him, actually Reaper Scythe him. Alright, PP is so satisfied. That must feel very, very good for him right now. I actually thought he was going to die, because I was going to say that he's being griefed by Ori. He moves top to try and help out. The haste rune comes on the Batrider. Imagine if he died straight away, it would have been so sad. But getting that counter kill does not only make sure that he gets some gold, but it also removes this Batrider from the map for a little bit.
Yeah, and you're completely correct here, by the way. Like, Ori's favorite thing is going to be running after this Necrophos. Just where, again, one whisker, and Ori will put his sights on him and just gun it down wherever that Necrophos is, because he'll always win.
Yep. It's going to be a very, very long time before we see Necrophos enjoying any kind of items that can help him survive those situations. And speaking of items, what kind of build are we expecting here? He's going for this Lotus Orb first item. You like it? How you feel about it?
Yeah, definitely really good. This would be a good Lincoln Sphere game as well, right? But you also want the armor up versus the Razor versus the Alchemist, so this is a great combination item to deal with a lot of threats, not just for yourself, but also for your team. Yeah. It's the best possible item you can buy in this case. And then after, like, you probably want a BKB after as well. I don't see how you live otherwise.
It's one of these awkward games where you have to buy BKB, but it doesn't keep you alive necessarily. There'll still be Eye of the Storm, there'll still be Dismembers, there'll still be Lassos, there'll still just be raw right click coming out of Monet, who is closing in on picking up his Radiance. It's not going to be the fastest Raz that we've seen in the tournament thus far, but making decent progress towards it. However, he has now gone into the jungle, vacated the top lane, so this will leave LG in a position to slowly but surely push down this tier 1 tower. I think after the next 2 waves, you should be able to bring it down.
Yep. And LG here as well, going for the Aether Lens again. I think this is a solid choice with how important his positioning is this game. If you want to, like, get anywhere versus the lasso and versus the hook and dismember, you're going to have to get yourself some freedom on the positioning part. So, sure thing from him there.
Tower's being pushed in, but they're bringing in Baboka to the top lane. Will actually look for the hook, but misses onto LG, and they still find the concoction. Very, very last second there for Monet. If he doesn't find that, he probably dies, but now they're looking towards Baboka. Toss him back with Salad. Kagome, right in front of his face, has made this move to the top lane. Shallow Grave will buy time, but he knows it's a wrap. They know what it is. Easy kill picked up. It goes the way of PP. And that's going to be, though, 5 heroes in the top lane for LBZS. Though they might have found this kill, they cannot afford to leave here without picking up this tower as well.
Yeah, I do think that they're reading correctly that Kagome can take it solo. Although it's actually riskier than I thought it was. Ori has a double damage and his BOTs. Like, Kagome
they see him. They know where he is. Salad's coming for him, but oh my god, Ori, he's so good at Dota. From the high ground, scouts out that Salad is en route. If he doesn't make that move, at the time PP was closing in on the tier 1 tower, suddenly Ori gets tossed back to the tower, and even though you do have the DD, the chain disable, and the hard rock down of the Reaper Scythe would probably still kill him. But because he's super good at Dota, he's fine. Everything's cool.
Yeah, and now his threat remains on that top lane, and Dazzle just gets to hold this tower for now.
Being so skittish. Gome's finally gonna go for it though. He's like, alright guys, it's time. Let's just get this deeps out. Nice deny attempt, but it's not gonna end up coming in vogue here for the Dazzle. He's closing in on getting this Aghanim shot. This feels like a very good shot game as well. In general, the only reach they have on the side of LBZS, absent the Blink Dagger on Enigma, is gonna be this earlier Blink on Salad. Is it online? No, okay, thank God. I was gonna say something's going on. That's just hacks, not allowed. But that does mean that this Dazzle, for the most part, is going to be uninterrupted and unencumbered on the back edge of the fight. And we've seen already in this tournament what can happen when you give PickU this Dazzle and he's allowed to just play to his heart's content without that many threats coming into him.
Absolutely, and between the Acid Spray and the Dazzle's contributions, you actually have pretty significant minus armor on board as well, which is going to be great for the physical damage coming out from the Razor. Huh. Boca, I saw him wandering bot with an Invis Rune, but there wasn't really anyone to get, and I guess that meant that he was the one that was getting got.
He wanted to contribute to PP's overall regen fund. He's looking at him and saying, dude, you only have one Reaper besides that. Let me hook you up.
Yeah, that's sad.
He's a good guy. So
also, Hook, I see what you did there.
Smoke up.
All right.
Let's see what they can do here, McKips, as they are looking for the toss into black hole play.
Yeah.
Who is the viable target?
They need it pretty much right now. Like, this action comes right before the BKB comes out on XXS, and after that, you are in trouble.
Oh, the flame break from Ori actually pushes LG forward, and it reveals him through the smoke because it closes the range. Who is this guy? Ori knows what's up, knows what he's doing. Make sure that now yet another wasted move from the side of LBZS. They're not getting much out of this, unfortunately.
No, and they can't see the gold difference, but they must have an inkling that this Alk is a full item ahead by now. And that means the clock is ticking. This Bristleback was supposed to be taking over this game, but we're still not even close to Aghanims, and BKB is already in on this Razor. They've scouted that now. He is a fortress already.
All the heroes have some incredible items. They're about to finish BKB on Backrider as well. XXX is going to kill Salad, but he's going to hopefully hold the kill so that Ori gets this last hit. Thank you. BKB fund has now been replenished. And they can potentially push off the back of this. Eye of the Storm's already been triggered. With Salad being in the grave for... It's only 15 seconds though. He's fairly low level. Only level 6, so... Unlike what we've seen from him earlier today, he's not off to a resounding start. So that does mean he'll be back a little bit sooner than expected. However, look what the team is doing. They know that Kagome is alone. Because they saw all these heroes respond in the bottom lane, this Bristleback is suddenly a target, but... Okay, they don't want to really make the full jump. They don't know exactly who's behind him. He's a little bit too far back and too close to the tier 1 tower. So they will allow him to live.
Yes. Enigma could have also acquired a Blink Dagger between the last time that they saw him in here, and there is a TP point close by. So I do agree with the back off there. Like, that seems cowardly. But if you think about all of the unknowns that you have at that point, yeah, understandable. Why risk your lead here? Why risk your Alchemist here for a kill on a hero that's just not going to outfarm him?
For entertainment, Kips. For hype.
Ah, I forgot. So sorry. I thought that this was blood sport, not ballet.
Little did you know this is actually just like a comedy skit every single time.
Oh.
Oh no. Monet comedically stuns himself randomly in the jungle. Well, thanks for demonstrating the point there, fam. We appreciate it.
Uh-huh. I did want to say something, by the way, about this idea of like disrespectful drafts. And people seem to think that drafts with weird picks in them are disrespectful because the players that are playing them think they're funny. It's actually the other way around. These drafts are disrespectful because they're purposefully handicapping themselves to see if they can still pull it off with that. They are challenging themselves to make sure that they will still get good practice out of this game and their shot calling remains sharp instead of doing a walkover. Because if anything is bad for you, it's getting used to winning easily. And you can see that the best with teams like EG in those years where they dominate NA, they get used to win lane, win game. And at some point in the tournament, they run into a team that doesn't fold there, and they have never practiced what comes after.
Yep.
So, yes, this is disrespectful from Aster picking up a Pudge there and just, you know, swapping it around. But it's disrespectful because they're training.
Yep. These are just training weights that they're putting on. Ori, stop it! Stop it, Ori!
Oh,
He
no,
catches
no,
LG.
no, no,
There
no.
will not be a black hole in this fight, and he's still going forward for more. At the same time, Baboka got the leash and the dismember out onto Salad. He's going to end up going down. They've demolished the Warlock as well. It's a triple kill for Ori. It's only the Bristleback and Necro alive, but there is no way they can take this fight. That was also Chaotic Offering dropped and doesn't really do anything. Just gonna claim the Aegis for free. This was LBZS trying to go into the Roshan pit, utilizing Kagome. And Kagome will go all alone to try and disrupt them taking this. Looks like he's been watching these Aster games, so we've seen that Aster will simply never surrender a Roshan unless absolutely forced to. And it's worked out. He's bought enough space and time that the rest of his team can respawn. And we have to remember, they died without... They still have Black Hole, yeah. And here it comes. Blink Black Hole onto 3 heroes. Who's gonna die first? They're going for Ori, but the Shadow Grave will keep him up. Baboka will be able to escape as well. But these fatal bonds, though, are starting to lay in the damage onto everybody. Salad will die to the BKB of Monet. But this BKB, when it expires, Monet needs to be careful. There will be a toss back as well, thanks to the Lotus Orb onto the chemical unstable concoction. Team Aster, they've lost Ori though. Although that is a huge jump from LBZS. It was a 3-hero black hole, Reaper Scythe being used, and they only get the 1 kill. So Team Aster can still meaningfully challenge around the Roshan pit.
They can. Monet is just coming back in. Like, at this point though, the Chemical Rage is going to wear off, so they need to be a little bit more careful. But actually, I have the Storm is back up. I keep forgetting that the cooldown on this stuff is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So LBZS now without their big guns, no Chaotic Offering for another minute, no Black Hole for another 2 minutes. And it's only a matter of time before Aster moves in for that Roshan again. I think they're really just waiting for the BKB over on Monet.
Look at this ward that they have down on the triangle. We spoke about it in all of these games. Aster's obsession with this triangle. Yeah. And this vision.
This ward, we've seen
this
specific ward giving like this specific vision every single time.
Yep. I think we've only seen Aster Radiant side once, right? Every other time they've been dire, and every other time they've planted this exact ward, challenged this exact area. And we see why, right? It allows them to maintain control not just of the Roshan pit, but know the way the fight is coming. I think it's because of this ward. They saw the Enigma trying to show up to the fight. Dazzle already knew, be prepared with the Shallow Grave for one of my targets. Doesn't get caught off guard. And even though they do end up killing Ori, it takes them longer than expected. And now Monet using that same ward to jump onto Detachment and kill him. Salad will also enjoy the same fate. Well, we're enjoying his fate, but I don't know if he is. And with these 2 supports being gone, the tier 1 tower should fall. Now this Roshan pit might finally be open for them. Monet already sieging it, and they're gonna add in even more negative armor with this Dazzle as well.
Yep, this was supposed to be the Bristleback power spike. He just got his Aghanim Scepter delivered, but he is, and I don't like talking about the net worth, but he is 16k behind right now, and the enemy is Alchemist is just about doubling him up. There's going to be an AC, like, you're supposed to be the minus armor carry here as well. Like, what kind of damage are you going to deal? Your right click's going to get stolen by the Razor, and your straight up damage is going to get negated for a large part by the armor. Like, you have percentage damage, you have Black Hole, but this is going to be a high ground death now. Like, this is where LBZS are going to be dodging now. They're going to scrape together as much as they can from this map, even though Aster's wards are watching them everywhere. And then your hope is high ground defense with the 2 big ultimates. I kind of have no doubt about that, because if you spend the big guns on a fight halfway through the map, you don't get enough out of it, Aster's just going to run at you again.
Yep. You were just mentioning it now. They practically have no cooldowns, especially relative to what LBZS has. So their uptime is always. First of all, LBZS has to be very careful with their timings. And to make matters even worse, XXX has now picked up the refresher. Oh, Monet stuns himself. This could be dangerous. The first life will be taken away for free. LG has Midnight Pulse, has Black Hole. Oh, he already used Midnight Pulse elsewhere, but they still have the Black Hole. It should be good enough. PP throws in the Death Seeker as well with this Aghanim shot, but they don't have enough damage. Monet's still alive. Chaotic Offering does get dropped though. Detachment has helped them to kill 2. Ori though, finding a lasso out onto PP, dragging him into the fight. But Kagome and PP, without Monet being around, they're finally strong enough to hang with these boys. But XXX turns on the taps of damage. with the Eye of the Storm, will be able to kill the Necro, but it will not come for free as he takes him down at the cost of his own life. 4 heroes fall in this top lane. LBZS take advantage of the forward positioning of Monet. It's a little bit too far from his team, and they punish him and everybody else pretty massively.
Yep, and I'm saying, oh, they're fine, look at this Razor go, but actually that Razor did not deal enough damage, and he seemed a little surprised about that as well, because you can see the back off call, right? You can see the back off call when the Daz was already moving out instead of preparing for the grave. They're like, okay, I think we actually lost Monet, we need to cut our losses here. But then Razor says, nah fam, we fine, if he dies, I got this.
Yep.
And he does not got this. This was a deliberate choice by Aster, and they miscalculated.
It's actually funny though, we're burnt, I think, also by Monet not dying immediately. They probably saw the damage. He's like, guys, I can get off BKB. And they're like, oh, look, he survived a little bit longer. Let's go help him. And they all ran literally into a huge fatal bonds from detachment with Chaotic offering on like everybody at once. It wasn't pretty. Well, they've now learned their lesson. I think they'll be very careful about having Monet dangle that far forward in future. But on the bright side, they also know that all the big spells are down. The exact scenario that you just mentioned, that when they take a fight far-ish from the base, when you lose, win, or draw, it actually doesn't matter. Team Aster can come back much more easily than you can, and they still can play real estate, despite the fact that they lost the last fight.
They did. But they did fund the Kagome BKB fund. That's an awkward sentence. Anyway, they fulfilled his wishes, and he is now going to be a force to be reckoned with. So at least LBZS have that going for them, which is nice.
The really scary thing for Team Aster though is that eventually, it's a long eventually, but eventually this game also becomes extremely scary for them if this Bristleback gets like properly 6-slotted and has enough backup from a tanky enough Necro that doesn't die just at the very first sign of trouble, who's able to not just survive the fight but provide regen to the Bristleback, but also as time goes on and this Alchemist gets tankier, this Heartstopper aura starts to become very effective. These BKB timings are going to start decreasing, and Monet is going to find himself not enjoying the same level of tankability as he is right now later on in the game.
Agree with that, but on the other hand though, like LBZS's real scaling is partially on the refresher possibility for the Warlock and the Enigma here, and those are a long way off no matter which way you slice it. So yeah, there's certainly options for LBZS here, and Aster have to be careful with how they conduct their next invasion of the Radiant side. But LBZS have a long way to go before they're out of the woods.
Here comes the first step of that invasion as they're going to try and smoke up. They don't need to establish much more vision control as they have some deep wards already, but they would maybe like another one. The prior ward that was close here to the ramp has already expired. So it would be nice to get that, reclaim this outpost, feel in a better position before you go for a big fight down the line. They also know that once Roshan comes back, they've seen the importance of the big man. So being able to force and prod LBZS in different directions and just simply knowing where they are can open up the chance for them to get the Roshan killed. And they're getting this Abyssal Blade very soon for Monet. It should be done before the next Roshan. So that next fight is going to be quite difficult for LBZS if they can't catch and deal with this Alchemist before he jumps onto PP or the Bristleback on the backlines. They're actually going in. He wants to take this fight. They're going to go onto Salad. They find the lasso as well from Ori. Pops the BKB. And the rest of LBZS say, haha fam, you are on your own. Y'all can eat that rock salad for lunch, and we are not going to interrupt you. We'll very kindly leave you to your meal.
Yep, they popped the Lotus Orb over on Kagome, like, oh snap, they're going for him. It's like, no, we're just taking your support. Kagome's like, oh, okay then.
I mean, there was a BKB, it's a lasso, it was Eye of the Storm. Whoa.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's a good reach from Ori to go for the guy that was not going to get shielded, but then again, is it good enough of a pick-off to really get anything out of the map? I mean, I say that like they aren't covering like 2/3 of the map right now. Look at how spread they are. Aster does this every single time, and you can say like, oh, they're 20k ahead because it's an Alchemist. They would still be 10k ahead by this point if this was anything else, just because of how efficiently they're farming.
Efficiency is always the name of the game for this Team Aster squad. However, Kagome has found some degree of efficiency himself. He's second on the net worth. Well, he was second for a second. He might become second once more after killing this young Dazzle. Dazzle attempting the TP out will not be allowed to do so. PP even dropping the Reaper side. All right, that's just the expression of his emotions about the current game state.
And that is a wild disengage with Monet really going in on his own. He knows that his team can be there in time. LBZS knows that his team can be there in time, and therefore they do not chase him into the river in spite of him being functionally alone.
Yeah. If they had
I
like...
love seeing these kind of disengages. Like in South America, you would never see this be a disengage, ever. And either LBZS chases for the kills and gets caught, or actually the teammates of the Alchemists who overextended aren't there in time. Like, disengage where both teams are counting on the other team to do something and then nothing happens because they were both thinking, that's another level. I love this.
Hearing the excitement in your voice. Welcome home, Kips. Monet getting that big jump onto Salad. Trying to send him home to the fountain here. Monet forced to pop his own BKB though, so they need to be careful. Let's watch LG. There's the chaotic offering. Ori will stop the black hole commitment, but where's the salvation for Monet? Monet is about to die. And he's so low on the HP, he will end up losing his life. PP is still alive, getting drained away of all his damage. But the moment that these BKBs end, he could drop more damage in. But fortunately for him, he ends up dying first. XXX now trying to run himself away. Salad gets 2 heroes in the avalanche toss. What a player, but it's not going to be good enough. They've lost all their support. Kagome now starting to lose his HP as well. They just keep getting these graves and these heals out. This Dazzle PicU, what a player, will enable them to get the full team wipe. Team Aster, the read in that fight, already stopping the early black hole. Dazzle for PicU, preventing anybody from dying until the very last moment. They utilize this cohesion to dominate the fight. It's a 5-1 wipe here in this mid lane.
Beautiful positioning from the Dazzle to make that possible, really staying out of harm's way. And Monet here, as much as he doesn't itemize sacrificially, like he positions sacrificially, definitely. He can choose to bail there, right? He can choose to save his own life. Instead, they do the exact same thing as on the Lost fight on top, where it's like, all right, Monet is in, they're dropping everything on him, Raze is gonna clean it up, and this time it's true. XXS absolutely delivers there, stands his ground. I was gonna lose the scrap first to Bristle again, not gonna lie.
So did I, and I'm sure he thought so as well, but PicU was like, I got you fam, don't worry. Don't even stress, G. You just do you, stay up front, and I'll make sure that you do not die.
And Nullifier has now been bought for this Razor. So if we were talking about this Necrophos not having a game before because versus the Bat Rider, his Ghost Shroud is completely ineffective, well, now it's not effective versus the Razor as well, and that means that this Bat Rider can just focus on the Enigma like he did in the last fight. No black hole there. Means that the black hole is still up now though, so they're gonna contest.
Let's see how this contest goes. They find Monet first and foremost. He's the one at the very forefront of this. Kagome will be the one stunned up. They have the right click damage. It looks that way, and I don't think they can save him. Kagome is in danger, but there's the blink black hole. They haven't found the Dazzle, so there will be a shallow grave coming out. PP drops the Reaper side, almost kills him. They still manage to blink away with this Alchemist. Now Ori jumping in onto LG. They've already committed black hole though. Monet might stun himself. No, he finds PP with this. Doesn't have another BKB though, so they need to be careful. PP lotuses himself, but nobody's nearby him. Nobody can help him. Will end up dying, and because they also lost Warlock, there is no AoE Shadow Word to help him out. With the 2 sustained batteries being gone, there's no way Kagome walks close to this pit, and that means that Team Aster can claim the big man and the Aegis and the shot.
And once again, this is a demonstration of Aster knowing how far they are ahead, for one, but like they get caught in the river, and normally that is a sign to bail, and they are being very careful with the way they're positioning, with the way that they're lining up. Like that black hole could have really only hit one hero at a time, and they have the hook ready to drag Monet out. And LBZS doesn't want to overcommit, because if they do that, they lose that positioning advantage. There's a lot of chess going on in these team fights, but we talked about chess the last time these two teams met. Aster is better at chess than you.
Yep. They just, it almost feels like they're playing with extra pieces. You're starting the game without any rooks. Meantime, they're starting with like double queens. And you're like, okay, what are we supposed to do here? I must say, I'm very impressed with how they've been responding to the Enigma. Like the dual response of either Pudge hooking you out, or there's always going to be a shallow grave on you. Pretty much like, you don't have to, like they can just leave the Enigma channeling his black hole. They don't have to ever really approach him. Feels so nice to watch.
And I think it's caused mostly by this Bristleback having not been in a position to actually frontline for his team a lot, because they need vision. They need somebody to scope out the situation. They need to get a jump with that Enigma, proper jump like
Speaking
this
of
one.
jumps, they get a jump onto Kagome. They drag him very far outside, but at the same time, he does manage to get off his BKB. He is still fighting. PP is now the one that's been left behind. The Midnight Pulse with the Fatal Bonds did do some decent work, but not enough. PP will end up losing his life. Monet goes back in. 2 heroes stunned up by him, and they get the Abyssal onto LG. They want the Enigma. They're going to get the Enigma. And with the Flame Break back onto Kagome, they should be able to pick up the Bristle back as well. Detachment hooked
Bonus
back
kill.
and detached from his life. 4 heroes gone inside their own base. They don't need to win a fight in the middle of the map. They can win a fight in your base and then take your buildings. Team Aster wanting to nail the coffin shut here in game number 1.
Yeah, between a Pudge and a Bad Rider, it is so hard to hold this high ground for LBZS, but that was definitely still a little bit too careless. Maybe they were almost aiming for... Oh, come on, have mercy.
I think Mercy plays for a different team. No, Mercy is not on Team Aster. They don't know the meaning of the word. Kagome just bought back, just dies back. 100 seconds in the grave. Silent's gonna die with the dieback as well. And LBZS very dutifully wait for everybody to be in the fountain at once, and then they call the GG. Game number 1 in firm control by Team Aster from start to finish. And damn, they look good. 42k gold lead, even with an Alchemist drop. That is some stellar efficiency across the map.
It absolutely is. And you can see how sharp they're playing by